Well, I will be selling my book, which was just re-released on paperback. I'm really excited about my book, and I guess that's what makes it a little different. I'll be signing books and saying hi to people after the show. So, but you know, the life of a comedian, we're always, you know, it's almost like it's always in progress. You know, you're always like writing new things and trying them out and fitting them into the act, and you know, you're just kind of always building and growing your act. So, well, you know, it is an interesting thing because, like, a lot of times when you're doing the most mundane, boring things, that's when you see the hilarious thing at the supermarket or whatever. Like, I have this new thing now about, like, taking my daughter to the grocery store, and it's, you know, it's just sometimes the most boring things are where you find the comedy. The creative process is always challenging, and I think it's really hard for creative people to know what to spend their time on, because, you know, you have to be writing and you have to be performing in town and you have to be going on the road and you have to be challenging yourself. So what I try to do, and I don't always do it, but I try to write, you know, 3 times a week at least, like where I'm writing out ideas, and then I try to perform in town at least 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. And then, you know, really you just have to, sometimes you can just go up on stage and just be so sick of your material, you just start improvising, and that can help too. It can also help to have some topics that you want to talk about, new things that have happened that you want to talk about. So kind of wedging those into bits, in between bits you already know work, can also help. And I record every one of my sets, which I didn't used to do, but it's just a good thing to do, I think, because then you can hear the riff and then try to repeat it. And, you know, it's pretty crazy. Stand-up is pretty crazy in the sense that if a joke is getting like a mediocre laugh, sometimes it'll be like every single place it gets the exact same sound of mediocre laugh, and then you can kind of like drop it from your act. So it's, you know, it's just kind of like testing that too. Some things, you know, just universally are better than others or worse than others. So I think it's just about like trying to hone it to get the funniest stuff. That's a huge question that you would really have to read my book, The World Deserves My Children, in its entirety to understand. But I have to say that being a mother, my values have changed tremendously, and I don't really have the same level of ambition as I had before, and I kind of want to be home with my kid from 4 o'clock onward. And to be honest, this is a huge shock to me because I thought I would be a much more negligent parent. But I really do like my kid. So, you know, it's hard to balance it. And then to make matters worse, my daughter told me the other day she doesn't want me ever saying anything that she has said to anyone. So there's a lot of stress about, well, what happens when she's 5 now, but what happens when she's 12 and she sees a comedy bit where I might be exaggerating a little bit about her. So, you know, that's something I have to really think about. So I'm just trying to kind of like go on the road as much as possible and not like record it so she doesn't know that I'm talking about her. Tubbing with Tosh was one of my favorite things that I did, and I actually married my spa boy, Pig Bottom. That is my husband now. You know, I had a whole season slated when I was pregnant, and I just canceled it because I was like, I'm so uncomfortable, I cannot deal. But you know what? I think that's a good idea, and yeah, maybe 2025, post-election. We need to get through the election.